Hey man, let's be brutally honest. Dating in the modern world isn't about love and connection the way it used to be. It's a battlefield, and the battlefield isn't just external, it's psychological. You're not just dealing with attraction and compatibility, you're facing a series of subtle power plays that can strip a man of his essence if he isn't aware. Female manipulation doesn't always look like a grand betrayal or some cinematic act of deceit. Most of the time, it's a quiet erosion, death by 1,000 soft jabs. A harmless test here, a playful dig there, but over time these add up. Before you know it, you're walking on eggshells, apologizing for your masculinity, unsure of what you believe anymore. So how do you outsmart this? It begins by seeing what you were never taught to look for. The first step in this guide is recognition. You cannot fight what you don't see. Female manipulation often comes in emotional packaging. She'll phrase control as concern. She'll disguise emasculation as jokes. She'll use silence, guilt, and withdrawal, not because she's hurt, but because she wants to reset the power dynamic in her favor. When a woman senses that you're too emotionally invested, that your self-worth is tied to her validation, she will start to test how much she can reshape you. She might tell you she doesn't like how you dress, how you talk, or how confident you are around other women. It will always sound reasonable at first, like she just cares. But the truth is, she's gauging how much of your identity you're willing to trade to please her. And the moment you give in, you start disappearing from yourself. To outsmart manipulation, you must master the art of non-reactivity. A manipulative woman thrives on your emotional reactions. She says something triggering not because it's true, but to watch how much control she has over your mood. The more you explain, defend, and try to justify yourself, the more power you hand her. You must learn to let her storm pass through you like wind through trees. Say less, react less, observe more. When she says, "You must be talking to other girls, don't explain," just smile slightly and say, "You think so?" That unbothered energy drives her insane because it shows you cannot be steered. When a man becomes emotionally predictable, he becomes emotionally programmable. Your indifference is your armor, and your emotional discipline is what breaks her manipulation in half. Here's a harsh truth. Many women emasculate men, not because they hate masculinity, but because they fear its independence. A strong man cannot be controlled. So rather than rise to meet him, many women will try to weaken him so he feels he needs her. She'll subtly discourage your goals, your gym routine, your ambition. She'll play victim if you focus too much on your purpose instead of her. She'll joke that you love yourself too much, or that you're too confident around other women. These are not jokes, they are warnings. Warnings that you are threatening the illusion of control she wants to have over you. So how do you respond? You don't fold, you don't explain. You double down, you lean deeper into your mission. The more she tries to derail you, the more you stay locked in. That resistance is your dominance. Now, let's talk about guilt. The weapon of choice for many emotionally manipulative women. If you loved me, you wouldn't do that. I just feel like I'm not important to you anymore. These phrases sound emotional, but they're tactical. She's trying to make your identity about her feelings. This is how emasculation begins, when a man makes his decisions based on how it might upset her emotional weather. You must learn to see through it. Your love is not proven by compliance. Your value is not measured by how much you bend. A high-value man decides from principle, not from guilt. He leads with clarity, not fear of disappointing her. And if she can't handle that kind of strength, she's not ready for a real man. You don't become more masculine by sacrificing your standards. You become more of a shell. Another manipulation trap you must avoid is the emotional bait and switch. She showers you with attention, compliments, affection, until you start letting your guard down. Then suddenly she pulls back. She becomes distant, cold, and vague. You find yourself chasing the version of her that once existed, thinking you did something wrong. This is not love, it's control. She's conditioning you like Pavlov's dog to respond to her affection with obedience. The moment you do what she doesn't like, she retracts the affection, and you begin seeking it like a lost boy looking for his mother's warmth. That's how she locks you into emotional dependency. To beat this, you must stop measuring your emotional security by her presence. You must hold frame even when she withdraws. Let her silence echo in her own head. You stay planted, solid, focused. That's how you reverse the game. Understand this. If a woman can easily change your mood, she doesn't respect you. Respect comes from consistency, and consistency is born from emotional control. Women instinctively test men to see if they're emotionally unshakable. They want to know if you're a rock or a reed. If every sarcastic comment she makes gets a defensive reaction, she knows she can bend your identity. But when you laugh in the face of it, or better yet, don't even flinch, she realizes she's dealing with someone above her tactics. You must develop the skill of stoic silence. Speak when it's necessary, but never as a reaction. Let your stillness carry the message. I am not here to entertain drama. I am not here to be trained. I am here to lead. That tone can't be faked. It's cultivated through discipline. Let's address the emasculation that happens through language. It's in the little comments like, "You're so sensitive," or "You need to chill out." When said in moments where you're asserting a boundary or expressing a concern, these phrases are meant to invalidate your masculinity. It's a subtle form of shame. She's making you feel weak for being strong. Don't argue, don't defend. Simply reaffirm the boundary with even more calm. That's not how I operate. We're not doing that again. When you make statements, instead of seeking approval, you remove her ability to twist the narrative. You stand as a man who doesn't need her agreement to be certain of himself. That level of assertiveness is rare and threatening to a woman who relies on manipulation to feel powerful, which is exactly why you must double down on it. Do not mistake a woman's tears for truth. One of the most powerful manipulation tactics is using vulnerability as a weapon. She'll cry, break down, say things like, "I just want to feel loved," right after she's disrespected you or ignored your boundaries. She's not remorseful. She's redirecting the emotional energy to make herself the victim and you the aggressor. It's a trap. And if you fall for it, you'll find yourself apologizing for enforcing basic standards. The man who wins this game doesn't get pulled into the emotional whirlwind. He stays calm, speaks slowly, and says, "We'll talk when things are calmer," then walks away. Not in anger, but in control. Let her sit with her own mess. If she truly respects you, she'll come back in peace. If not, she'll escalate and reveal her true intentions. The last foundational rule in outsmarting female manipulation is this: never play on her field. Emotional games are her domain. She has years of social conditioning, instinct, and practice. If you argue, plead, justify, or try to out-emotion her, you will lose. But when you stay in your masculine energy, focused, clear, silent, and mission-driven, you shift the entire game. You force her to rise or retreat. You remove her tools of manipulation because they only work on men who are desperate for love, approval, or connection. You're none of those things. You're whole. And when she realizes she cannot move you, change you, or shake you, she will either transform into your complement or disqualify herself completely. Either way, you win. Now let's talk about how women use future faking to manipulate men. She'll talk about babies, weddings, vacations, and building a future together early on, especially when she sees that you're the kind of man who takes love seriously. This isn't her committing to you, it's her hooking you. It creates an illusion of investment so that you start giving more emotionally, physically, and even financially. But once you're hooked, those plans suddenly disappear. Things are moving too fast, she'll say. Or worse, she'll start pulling back affection while still dangling those fantasies in front of you like a carrot. Don't fall for it. A real woman builds a future with actions, not fantasy. The moment you sense words without follow-through, lean out. She'll feel your distance and be forced to either rise up or fall off. Women often deploy reverse blame as a tactic. When you call them out, you'll bring up something valid like disrespect, lying, or lack of communication, and instead of addressing it, she'll spin it. "Why are you always so critical?" Or "You don't even understand how hard I try." Suddenly, you're defending your tone instead of the issue. This is emotional judo. She flips your pressure back onto you. The key to beating this is emotional redirection. Never chase the argument she's steering toward. Say, "We're not talking about that right now. We're staying on topic." Repeat if necessary. Don't let her shift the frame. This forces her to engage with the actual issue or walk away from the manipulation entirely. Either path restores your power. One of the most sinister tools of emasculation women use is comparison. Whether it's her ex, a male friend, or even a celebrity, she'll subtly drop lines like, "He just gets it," or "He knows how to handle a strong woman." These are not harmless comments. These are engineered to make you feel less than, so you'll work harder for her approval. The weak man bites. He starts changing himself to meet an imaginary standard she likely doesn't even respect. The strong man smiles, looks her in the eye and says, "Then maybe he's a better fit for you." That one sentence shatters her power because it tells her you're not afraid to walk away. And once a woman knows you're capable of leaving her behind with zero fear, she starts reevaluating how she treats you quickly. Let's expose the sex leverage trap. Many women, consciously or not, use intimacy as a tool of reward and punishment. When things are good, sex flows. But when you say no to her demands or enforce a boundary, the bedroom door magically closes. It becomes a transactional exchange, and most men panic. They try to fix it, apologize, supplicate, and that's when she knows she owns you. Understand this: sex is not love, and lack of sex should never control your leadership. The moment she withholds, don't chase. Let her sit in the silence. Continue to lead your life, your mission, and your purpose. If she values your presence, she'll come back with respect and attraction. If not, she'll try harder manipulation, which tells you everything you need to know. Last for now, isolation via shame. This one is brutal and often invisible. She'll subtly mock your hobbies, question your masculinity, or ridicule your passions. You still play that game. That gym stuff is so superficial. The aim is simple: disconnect you from your identity, from the things that make you feel strong and whole, and over time you lose your edge. You stop doing what fills you up. You become smaller, quieter, more agreeable, and easier to control. To beat this, you must have non-negotiables. These are the things no woman can touch: your workouts, your business, your passions, your purpose. If she mocks them, she mocks who you are, and there is no greater red flag. The man who stays powerful is the man who refuses to shrink. Let's now address one of the most cunning forms of emasculation: emotional guilt traps disguised as vulnerability. She'll cry. She'll say, "I just don't feel loved," or "You never make me feel special anymore," right after you've drawn a boundary or asserted your standard. It's weaponized softness. It confuses the masculine protector in you and forces you to question whether you're being too cold, too strict, or too selfish. This is not vulnerability. It's manipulation dressed in a victim's robe. Real vulnerability leads to connection, not control. The moment you feel like you're being guilted into betraying yourself to keep her from feeling bad, pause. Ask yourself, is this about real connection or control? The difference is everything, and the masculine frame must choose principle over pleasing every single time. Another mind game women often play is testing your leadership under fire, and it's done by deliberately provoking emotional chaos. She'll bring drama when things are peaceful. She'll start arguments over nothing. She'll try to bait you into overreacting. Why? Because she wants to see, are you still calm when the world burns? This is where men fail. They react, they yell, they defend, and in doing so, they hand her the throne. The way to win? Stillness, calm, a quiet stare, and a grounded tone. We're not doing this right now. When you're ready to speak with respect, I'll listen, then walk away. This one move tells her you're a man who governs his own world, and in her chaos, she'll crave the safety of your stormproof presence. Let's talk about emotional double standards, one of the oldest tricks in the book. She can cry, yell, insult, storm out, and you're supposed to be understanding. But the moment you raise your voice or express anger, suddenly you're abusive, scary, or toxic. This imbalance is designed to make you feel ashamed of your masculine edge. But here's the truth. Masculine anger is not evil, it's fuel. It becomes destructive only when it's reactive and undisciplined. When it's controlled, calm, and grounded, it becomes a boundary. If she tries to shame you for showing passion or asserting yourself, calmly say, "My emotions matter too. If you want emotional safety, we both deserve it." Her face will tighten, but her respect will rise, because men who advocate for themselves are rare, and women remember rare. Now we get to the bait and switch persona test, In the beginning, she's sweet, playful, supportive, but slowly after she feels you're hooked, she changes. Less intimacy, more demands. Disrespect, disguised as jokes. She's testing whether you'll accept the downgrade. Most men do. They hold on to the fantasy of who she was, hoping she returns to that version. But she won't unless you reset the frame. The moment you notice the switch, confront it calmly. You were more playful and affectionate before. What changed? If she mocks or gaslights, withdraw your investment. Cut down on calls, pull back the effort, make her feel your absence. She'll either recalibrate or reveal she was never real to begin with. Either way, you win. Because truth always clears the fog of seduction. And finally, let's shatter the most dangerous manipulation, the mother wound projection. Many women unconsciously want to fix a man to feel powerful, but worse, they try to mother a man to feel needed. They'll start telling you how to dress, how to eat, what friends to keep, how to manage your emotions, all under the illusion of care. And if you don't comply, they act like you're ungrateful or broken. This is not love, it's control. And it's emasculating because it turns you into a boy seeking approval rather than a man holding frame. Outsmart this by never outsourcing your growth. Seek feedback from men you respect, not from women trying to mold you into their little project. A woman worth keeping admires your direction. She doesn't direct your mission, she joins it. The biggest mistake men make when trying to outsmart manipulation is thinking the solution is confrontation. It's not, it's clarity and consequence. A masculine man doesn't yell, argue, or beg. He observes, speaks once, and enforces with distance. If she disrespects you once, correct her respectfully. If she does it again, withdraw presence. Not as punishment, but as alignment. Your energy is not a charity, it's currency. She must learn that disrespect drains access. Women instinctively test for limits, not because they're evil, but because boundaries tell them who you are. Fail to enforce your limits, and you become a man who says things he doesn't mean, and no woman stays attracted to that, ever. A woman's manipulation only works when a man has unhealed wounds. If you're seeking validation, love, or reassurance from her, she controls the supply. That makes her the dealer and you the addict. Break this chain by healing the source of your need. Become emotionally full without her. When you're not afraid to lose her, she loses the power to manipulate, because every guilt trip, every silence game, every emotional jab falls flat against a man who doesn't need her to feel whole. Your peace is your armor, and when your emotional state can't be controlled externally, you become the most terrifying man she's ever met, because she can't move you, can't mold you, can't break you. Women will try to test your masculinity with chaos, because peace is boring to the feminine when unchallenged. They'll create confusion, drama, even jealousy to provoke reaction. It's not logical, it's emotional. The trick is, don't react, respond. If she starts fights, ask calmly, what are you really needing right now? If she compares you to others, say, then why are you here? If she accuses you, say nothing. Let her feel your silence. Women expect weak men to react, explain, beg, but the strong man absorbs the fire and stays unmoved. That's when she realizes this man can't be shaken, and that mystery, it becomes the obsession. Every test she throws at you is secretly asking, are you stronger than me? Not physically, but emotionally, mentally, spiritually. And the answer must always be yes, not through force, but through centeredness. The man who outsmarts manipulation doesn't argue or defend. He listens, watches, acts, and if needed, walks away, because he knows his time, energy, and peace are treasures, not tokens. Most men try to win women over by explaining, proving, convincing, but the man she can't control is the man she can't forget. He lives by a code, he bends for no storm. And even if he loves her, he'll leave the moment she tries to leash his freedom. That's power. That's the win. So here's the truth. Women aren't evil, but female nature is designed to test, not to destroy you, but to reveal you. They test, to see if your masculine core is solid or soft. They push, not because they want to dominate, but because they crave to surrender, but only to a man who's unshakable. The ones who manipulate, emasculate, or confuse you, or giving you a gift in disguise. They're showing you where your wounds are, where your boundaries are weak. where your self-respect is still negotiable. And once you recognize the pattern, you never fall into it again. You become that rare man who women cannot manipulate, cannot tame, and cannot forget. The one who outsmarts the game because he no longer plays it.